Rosh Hashanah would judge for the new year, Yom Kippur would judge and corrected for the new year versus the old year. And when Sukkot comes, we celebrate our victory. What we call in the Medrash that the Rebbe quotes all the time, Anan Nitzuchaya, or the language of Lubavitch, Tiday Notzach. That the lulav and the esrog and the hodas and the arava is the parade that the victors make at the end of a war. When two nations go to war, one wins and one loses. And sometimes you're not sure which one is the winner and which one is the loser. And of course I cannot help but mention the Maimed Matzah of Yid and Eretz Yisrael. Baruch Hashem, the hostages came home. But it's very, very important that the hostages coming home shouldn't be the end of the story. We have to win. And our enemies have to lose. And the reason we have to win and our enemies have to lose, because if we don't win and our enemies don't lose, this is going to happen again and again and again. And the whole world tells Israel, listen, you're so strong, you're so successful, let them feel like they won. And what the world doesn't understand, that them feeling like they won is reason enough for them to start this whole game all over again. You could crush them and destroy them. You don't have to kill your enemy. In this case, you have to embarrass him. And an embarrassed enemy, I think, is much more tolerable to the United Nations than a dead enemy. They have to lose. Yidden have to win, and the Arabs have to lose. I cannot get over this phenomena, that to this day, in Egypt, they make a parade on October 7th to celebrate the victory of the Yom Kippur War. And who knows what they're going to do with this war of October 7th from 2 years ago. The fact that the Egyptians lost the Yom Kippur War resoundingly, and that the Hamas and the Hezbollah and Syria and Iran were dealt such incredibly powerful blows of shame and defeat. If they're going to march in the street and make a parade, in their minds they won. And if they won, we lost. Which means that this is Noach Hamol Dezel Bezach. It's not nice and it's not pleasant. But there needs to be Tiday Notzach. There has to be victory. And the only way for us to have victory is for them to have defeat. And they have to know they were defeated. This is not about Jewish people being vindictive or vengeant or spiteful. This is about simply making sure that it doesn't happen again. It's just how it is. I mean, this is what the Rebbe talked about all the time. Being nice is ultimately being cruel, and being cruel is ultimately being nice. The Rebbe said 1,000 times that if we'll defeat the Arabs, resoundingly, fewer Arabs will die. Now they'll scream and say, I'd rather be dead than shamed. But like I said before, the UN, I hope, has enough seichel to understand that they'd much rather they be shamed than be dead. And Jewish people certainly believe that. And that's why there has to be victory. Tiday Notzach. Anyway, I'm sorry I digressed. Let's go back to the Maimed, okay? It says in Medrash that Sukkot, when you walk in the street with the Dalet Minim, it's Tiday Notzach, it's victory. We won. So this Maimed is going to start off with one version of the Dalet Minim. In my humble opinion, is going to finish with a slightly different version of the Dalet Minim. And it's going to become critical to resolve the question of this contradiction. And that is, the Maimed is going to begin by saying that Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is the correction for last year, and the Lulav and the Esrog and the Hadas and the Adava are simply the celebration of it. Or to use mystical language, philosophical language, the revelation of it, in quotations. In other words, Sukkot is only a victory march. That's how the Maimed is going to start. But as we go deeper and deeper into the Maimed, the Rebbe is going to sort of change his mind. And he's going to argue